talk to us.
Before Miss Priest,
having us.
before Miss Priest sneaks out as well. So thank you for guiding this trip, and it's a good experience. So as a former ag student myself years ago, it's good to get out. Like you said, it was pretty neat, kind of reminiscing. We were in Kansas City, Missouri, but Indianapolis, pretty good place to be.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good job. Thank you guys.
Have a great evening.
You too.
The next item under new business is non-employee coaching. Yeah.
It's hard to follow up that.
This day should be on for you.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Dace. I'm the activities director at Cuba. Recently, and it's been a process, we have been experiencing a coaching shortage also with sponsors, and I kind of want to just address that because it's going to get worse and we need to have these people to sponsor these events because they're very important. So our current coaching situation, as you can see, we have 5 current openings just from our fall sports, and with more coming that we found out about recently. So that's not very good. I mean, that's a lot of openings and we need to fill them. And currently, when we do fill them, they have to be filled in-house, so by our current staff members. So at the end of our fall season, I sent out a survey to the student athletes because I wanted to get their perspective of things and not just the coaches' perspectives. And overall, the 2 top things that they're concerned about is they wanted to see practices ran more effectively or efficiently, and then more qualified assistant coaches. So the overall problem that we have in the athletic and activities department is we only allow staff members to coach, and we do not have enough staff openings or staff interest to fill our current coaching positions. Why I believe this is an issue is because extracurricular activities are an extension of the classroom, and it provides students with an opportunity to learn a variety of valuable lifelong skills. Some of these kids in these activities this is when it's their time to shine. Might not be the best students, but this is where they're involved, and they do well in class just so they can stay in these activities. So these are very important, and we need to put in the same amount of effort that we put into hiring the best teachers into hiring the best coaches and sponsors. I believe the best candidate for the position should be in that position, and sometimes the best person for that position is not always within the confines of the district, in my opinion. Our current practice when hiring coaches is we kind of see if any current employees have any interest or experience. Then if we do have an applicant, we ask them if they have any experience, and we kind of ask them if they'd be interested in filling that role. And then when we don't have any interest, we literally have to beg people, current staff members, I'm not kidding, to fill the position for a year until we can hopefully get some more applicants in the future. This practice is definitely a disservice because when we do have to beg employees, obviously they feel pressured. They don't necessarily want to be in that position, and the kids can sense that, the kids know that, and it's a disservice to both the students and the employees. I have a 2-part proposal. One is a stipend position and one is a volunteer position. So my first part is to allow non-employees to apply for coaching positions. We would allow all of these people to apply for a position. So with certified staff, we'd start there. We'd open it up to paraprofessionals. I feel like they just don't think that they can coach, and I want them to know that they can coach, and we would encourage them to get involved in that. Retired teachers and then non-district employees if they hold a sub-certificate. Requirements and expectations of someone that is a non-district employee that would like to coach at Cuba. This would be the stipend position, and they get paid just like every other coach. They need to hold the substitute certificate. They need to abide by all the CCR2 board policies. They need to successfully complete all required CCR2, MISHA, and NFHS trainings, attend all after-school practices and games, at the normal practice time, which would be the 3 to 6 range. They don't get to make their own time that fits into their 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job schedule. And they need to participate in the postseason coach evaluation process, just like all the other coaches. My second proposal would be a mentor program, which this would be a volunteer position. So this would be really beneficial because this would allow people who are interested in coaching gain experience as a Cuba coach, not just as any coach, as a Cuba coach, because we want these people to come in and work for Cuba. This will lead to more qualified applicants in the future. We will lead to more efficient practices because we'll have more people there to help, and it will be a resume builder for both the mentor and the mentee. Some more details about this. This will mainly appeal to new teachers and recent graduates who are interested in coaching. I have a few of our football players that have had a good experience that are interested in coaching. They don't know how to actually get into it, and this would really benefit them to get, just get their feet wet in this. Interested candidates will meet with the head coach, who will determine if the mentee would be a good fit for their program. They would know better than I would. I wouldn't control this. They would just kind of tell me who, and I kind of oversee it. But a football coach is going to know who's best for their football coach. I wouldn't know who's best for that. And they've already established those relationships with the recent graduates, so they would know who would be a benefit and who wouldn't. And current coaches, they don't have to participate in this. If they don't really see a need for this and don't want to have to deal with the mentee following them around, then they don't have to be involved in it. And then the mentee will document their hours. This information can be used on their resume. So if I use the example, if I have a mentee, they've documented 100 hours with me, and then I give up my volleyball position and they apply for it, how awesome is it going to be that they say that they have been advised by me, they have worked in the Cuba system, and they've already documented 100 hours under me. That's going to make a really smooth transition for the students and themselves, and it would make our lives a lot easier. Requirements and expectations. They will need to pass a background check to be considered a screened volunteer per board policy. They would need to regularly attend after-school practices and games. They would not need to attend all of them because it's a volunteer, but the more that they put in, the more they're going to get out of it, kind of situation. Participate in postseason evaluation process that would be completed by the mentor coach. They're going to be dealing with them every day, so I believe they should be the ones that are conducting that evaluation process. And then they should document their hours, always be supervised by the head coach, and never be alone with the students. And that is just a board policy. In conclusion, this two-part proposal will create a larger applicant pool with more qualified candidates to fill these coaching positions. It will assist current coaches have more efficient practices, and then it will give students a more enjoyable extracurricular experience, because these students know when they do not have an experienced person leading them. They know it, they're very smart, and it's hard for them to sometimes listen to people that they know that they might know more about the sport than that person does. And so we want to give them the best experience, because in return they're going to do well out on the field at the court for us. And that is all I have for you. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, I would like to answer them for you.
Thank you for presenting. There's a lot of good information in there that when I read over it, I was like, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. I never thought about that. So, this...
There is a program that we do more of that.
Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Dates while she's...
I've also handed you guys more detailed about almost like a sample contract of what each one would look like and their detailed expectations and requirements. If you guys want to look at that.
Those should be in the board pack as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for mentioning those. In our agenda is a recommendation. There's two recommendations. Number one is that we approve the non-employee coaching process as presented. If we want to discuss this more, I need a motion on the floor.
Not a motion.
Second.
Now, What discussion do we want to have about approving the non-employee coaching process? Don't everybody speak at once.
Well, I would agree with Taylor that over the years it's just been harder and harder and correct that people had to be begged, borrowed, or whatever, stolen. And I think it's a pretty good idea if we do this the right way and vet these people.
Me too, and I think it can pull community, the community inward, which I think would be good.
Agree?
That's what I was saying a while ago to these guys. I was just telling them that this is another thing that we do at Rolla, and it does affect your community because if they're passionate about something or they've had experiences but they're not in education, this gives them an opportunity to step up and show their game too. You know what I mean? And you can pull in some really good individuals that are really, really good with kids. They are. Even though they're not in education, sometimes I think as educators we get in there so long, it's kind of like, oh, sometimes you have those days where you're like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Why have I been doing this for 21 years? Just because, it's just the wear and tear of every day. When you have those new faces and those new experiences of those people that aren't doing that every day, and they get with these kids and they really do get out there and show them the love of and the passion of the game, not just, or the clubs. You may get somebody, like she said, and we've had this happen too in all of my career years. Somebody will step in and take a position of, even of a club, an organization, and really should not be in that spot. Not necessarily the best for kids. So that happens all the time, and I think you got a really cool thing here. The mentor thing is what I like about that. That's something that I have not witnessed. And I think that's really, really cool because that does give them, give those kiddos, even if they're playing college ball or whatever, or, in a group or organization, it gives them some bite in what they're doing. So I think that's a really cool thing.
Thank you for sharing.
And I can say too, if approved, Mrs. Dace and I have had conversation and we've got some new resignations as well, but we could enact this pretty quick to start trying to get those filled for spring sports, which is not that far away.
Have you guys like polled or talked to coaches too? I mean, do they know? And I'm sure they're probably like, yes, get us some people that are passionate about what they're doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's just like everything else, like the sub shortage and everything else. I mean, it's just the same thing. And we're fighting that in education. It's just
and even the process of helping grow teachers.
Absolutely.
Who may not be certified.
Absolutely.
This whole,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Dace has done a great job in the conversation.
Yeah, this is very well done.
Quick question, I think you might have mentioned this before some other time, but when we hire our PE teachers, then usually we require them to coach a couple different sports. Is that something you're still?
It's not in policy, so we
right, but I mean,
we
that's just
highly
something we
encourage.
encourage, I should say.
Is that where we're at, but there's also.
Is that something you're still gonna continue to?
Oh, we can encourage it, sure, depending on different
Right.
circumstances.
It's what you don't want coaching.
No, you don't really want to require, tell somebody you gotta do this.
Yeah.